Yeah, what up, man? What you doing, Rob? Welcome back to Max Fire Fantasy Report. And man, I wasn't even gonna get this video out. I mean, I wrote this stuff up here 2 days ago on Tuesday to hook you guys up with a nice Tuesday video, and I could not get it filmed and uploaded and all that. So here I am, man. It's Wednesday night. We're going to kick it out. It should be up by tonight, maybe tomorrow morning, depending on how long it takes this stupid iPhone to load. But here we are, man. Scared money doesn't make money. We got 1 week left, so hopefully you are, either a win away or you're right there. And we're going to help you get in. Now, if you are watching this, the chances are you're still in contention. And if you're not in contention and you're watching this, man, my hat, if I was wearing one, is off to you, buddy. Because I don't give any cheap, easy wins in my leagues. I play till the end, even if I'm losing in that season. So I'm going to go through. It's not a whole lot to go over, but I do got some notes. We're going to go over some big people and then some little people. How about that? Scared money doesn't make money, my homies. So make sure you like the video and give me some juice down there at the bottom. Because, it ain't going to hurt your finger, bro. I promise. All right, so let's get off to the big stuff right away. Gus Edwards, Austin Ekeler, Josh Adams, and I think his name is Justin Jackson. Those are the guys that you need to be looking at. Now, Justin Jackson's probably available. But look, my take on Gus Edwards is this. Now he's got the job. Now he's done it back-to-back weeks, and I think it's his job. Now, Alex Collins is hurt, so maybe when he comes back, he takes the job back. That's lurking, okay? But what I think is going to happen is that Alex Collins is still explosive. They liked him coming into this year for a good reason. He's very explosive. But, Gus Edwards seems to have something here. So the chances are Alex Collins will eat into Gus Edwards' carries a little bit and reduce Gus Edwards' value just a little bit. But he'll still be good. He'll still probably get 15 to 18 carries a game once Alex Collins comes back. And until then, he should be getting 18 to 20 carries a game. And, they got Lamar Jackson running the ball 25 times a game too. So that running game is on point. The schedule is cake, man. I mean, cake all the way. The best schedule of all running backs is Gus Edwards right now. And then Austin Ekeler. Now, look, I've been tooting Austin Ekeler's horn for weeks now. So hopefully it didn't catch you by surprise. I didn't predict that Melvin Gordon was going to get hurt, but he does have an injury history, and he got hurt earlier in the year. And that should have been your wake-up call. And so if you didn't grab him, my condolences, but you definitely should have, because I definitely gave you the warning on that. Now, Josh Adams. I have to eat crow on Josh Adams because, I was just basically saying that you don't want anything to do with the Philadelphia running game. And I don't really think that was a bad take because even Jay Ajayi never got 18 to 20 carries. So I'm not sure how many carries Josh Adams got, but it was a lot more than anyone else has gotten on that team all year long. So if that continues, he's definitely going to be the #1 pickup. But that's if it continues, and I don't know. I'm just a little slow on the roll when it comes to Philadelphia. I'm not buying in just yet, but I'd still pick him up. Now, today's Wednesday, so it's over. I mean, you missed him. Unless you got him without me. If you went and grabbed him, good job. All right, but if he does it again this week, now it's really his job. Now I'm buying in. I mean, I'd still roster him, wait and see. Many people, in my opinion, they jump on the bus way too fast. And then when the guy leaves him hanging the next week or gets only 10 to 12 carries, then he's not going to be able to do what he did last week. But you still jump on him before he does it twice. Once he does it twice, it's over. It's a fact, So, now those are the three guys, Gus, Ekeler, and Adams, that are probably gone already. But we had to talk about them just so I could put them in perspective. And also scratch my own back with Ekeler a little bit, Can't let that ride slide. But now let's get down to Justin Jackson. He looked pretty good. Now the thing that I notice about Ekeler is he's kind of like Christian McCaffrey. Okay, he's got a similar skill set as McCaffrey, and so they're going to be passing the ball a lot against Pittsburgh this week. Pittsburgh's very good against the run, so I like Austin Ekeler a lot. They put him in 3-4 wide sets. They line him up as a wide receiver, mismatches, and they like him up the middle too. They like him like Philip Lindsay. Just because he's a littler guy doesn't mean they're only going to run him in pass plays or out to the side corners. They're running that boy right up the gut. And the coach said he's the strongest guy on the team, pound for pound. So he believes in him. He believes he can carry the load. That's good news for us because we're kind of worried that maybe Justin Jackson might have something. So Austin Ekeler, to me, is looking stronger and stronger as the day goes on. But I did go ahead and pick up Justin Jackson in my leagues, one of my leagues, because he looked good, and there's always a chance something happens to Austin Ekeler. So you want the running back for San Diego. That's all I know. Okay, so I like Justin Jackson, especially since he's not owned. Most people aren't even buying in yet, so just grab him. I mean, if you don't have a slot, don't drop anybody really good for him. If you're loaded, don't worry about it. All right. So moving on down to Jacksonville. Now, Fournette is out this week. He's suspended and he lost his appeal. So a lot of guys think Hyde is the guy. Some other people like Yeldon. I like Yeldon. Okay, he's always going to be in there on third down no matter what happens with Hyde. So he's got a guaranteed floor. And they might just he never gets game scripted out, so they might start getting blown out, and they're going to have to pass the ball a lot. I don't know what's going on with their quarterback, but I can be pretty sure that Yeldon is going to be part of the game plan. Hyde, we really don't know what he's going to look like. He's definitely not Leonard Fournette, so he could have a nice game, but both these guys have a limited upside, okay? They're only good for 1 week, so you really wouldn't want to waste a roster spot unless you're dying and you need to win this week. Then, sure, go ahead and give Yeldon a try, in my opinion. Now, Hines and Wilkins, I'm not on either of these guys. Now, maybe for a week, Hines is all right because Marlon Mack got a concussion. So, Hines is the guy I would pick out of the two. But I saw Hines before, and he didn't do much when he had a lot of chances. He's great at catching the ball, and yeah, he has Andrew Luck, and Doyle is out, and so maybe there's a little upside there. I mean, there's definitely upside there, but I'm not buying it, and it's not something I would count on or feel good about. So I don't like Hines as much as most people do. Just not buying in. Now, Burkhead. Here's what I think about Burkhead. I think that he's a great handcuff. I don't think he's going to eat into Sony Michel's carries. Bill Belichick, look, from the very beginning, the writing was on the wall. When Bill Belichick takes a running back in the first round, he plans on using him. A lot of people think Sony Michel is just a first and second down back, and then they bring in James White for the third down. While that's true, Sony Michel is very capable of catching the ball. He's actually more of a pass catching back than a straight first and second down running back. Most people don't know that, though, and he doesn't really get the chance to show that much because James White is there, and that's his role. He's very good at it, so he's not about to take James White's role, but he's not about to lose his role to Burkhead either. Now, I know Burkhead, he gets paid a lot of money, and last year he was really good, so he's got upside. I think he's just going to be there. He'd get a couple of touches, but Sony is the man there. I mean, this is the first time we've ever seen the Patriots stick to a running back all season long that I can remember that you can count on. And so I'm still buying into Sony Michel. And if Sony Michel gets hurt, which he already has been hurt, and the way he runs, he could get hurt again, then Burkhead's going to be a nice guy. So he's a good handcuff. Okay, so you can consider him a handcuff for Sony Michel. Same as Spencer Ware, Gio Bernard, and those are some handcuffs you're going to want to pick up. Spencer Ware, if he's available, he's an instant stud if something happens to Kareem Hunt. And Gio Bernard, obviously, is the handcuff to Joe Mixon, so he's an instant stud if he gets the ball and if something happens to Joe Mixon. So these are people that are going to get first, second, and third down work, instant stud, okay? So that's what we're like. Now, LeGarrette Blount. Apparently what happened is they like LeGarrette Blount. They don't like Theo Riddick as a running back. They like him as a pass-catching back. So that's what we're going to buy for right now, is that he's the running back until further notice. I remember when I told you the other day to look out for C.J. Anderson. So C.J. Anderson was going to get traded, and the deal fell through, so they just cut him. Now he worked out for the Lions. So C.J. Anderson may come on into the mix and do something. And then Kerryon Johnson's probably coming back as well. So you really don't have any upside with LeGarrette Blount. I think last week was the week, and we all probably missed it because nobody was expecting him to go 18 touches and get 2 touchdowns against the Bears defense. So that was kind of a surprise, and I wouldn't be expecting it to happen again. So, I wouldn't be buying him at all, okay? And then let's go with Peyton Barber. I like Peyton Barber, if you're in a pinch and you need something, because they're still running the ball. Even though they're not good at it, they need somebody to run the ball. He's getting about 18 to 20 touches a game, over 100 yards and a touchdown, so a lot of these games. So that's a pretty good floor. Is he going to blow you away and win your league for you? Is he going to blow up and win the whole week for you? No, he's not going to do that, but he has a nice floor, okay? So he's there if you need a pinch and you're not loaded at running back. That's Peyton Barber. And then getting your opponent's handcuff. Look ahead to, let's say if you're in the playoffs, you probably only have 2 or 3 other teams, that are going to be in the playoffs with you. Go look at their teams, see who doesn't roster their handcuff, and grab that guy, because that's a huge advantage. Let's say you're facing a guy, or let's say the other 3 teams in there have, Spencer, have Kareem Hunt, one of those teams in there. We'll go grab Spencer Ware. If something happens to him, not only does one of the people in the playoffs miss out, but you have him. So it's been working out for me. You can't predict injuries, but you look ahead at your schedule, see who you're either facing, or in the playoffs who you're likely to face, and then grab that guy. It's just a hunch, you know what I mean? It's a long shot, but when it works, it's devastating to your opponent when you already have their handcuff and their guy gets hurt. And if they're not smart enough to roster their handcuff right now, you should be smart enough to roster it for them. Definitely go grab Malcolm Brown or Marlon Brown, whatever his name is, the handcuff to Gurley, the handcuff to Mixon, the handcuff to Kareem Hunt. You want to get these guys on your team so if something happens, you got them already, and your opponent loses out. So there's a lot of handcuffs out there. So target the handcuffs on the teams that you're likely to face in the future, and that creates a huge advantage for you. All right, so there's a little information on running backs. So let's get into the wide receivers and knock that out. DJ Moore. Now, here's the reason why DJ Moore all of a sudden is on my good list. Funchess is out. Okay, and that's a simple fact of the matter. When Funchess comes back, I don't know what's going to happen. DJ Moore looked all right. He gets a lot of passes, and he's fast. So he's a good guy. He's a great guy. Cam Newton's not that accurate with the deep ball, but with Funchess out, all those targets are going to go to him, go to DJ Moore. And Funchess was dropping a bunch of passes. He was getting tons of targets. And so if those targets go to DJ Moore now, you can be sure that he's going to be a good guy up until Devin Funchess comes back. When Funchess comes back, all bets are off on DJ Moore. Let's go to Callaway. Callaway's starting to look like he knows what he's doing all of a sudden. He's a rookie, so he was getting a ton of targets to start out the year, and he was dropping a lot of them. And so now him and Baker Mayfield are starting to get a little bit of chemistry going, and you got something there with Callaway. Now, if you're in a pinch, Callaway is a good guy. He's a deep threat, so one play can make your whole week, and he's getting a lot of targets now. Jarvis Landry's still there, and Njoku's still there, and they mostly run the ball with Chubb. So they're a run-first team, and they use that to set up the play action, but that still doesn't change the fact that Callaway gets the targets, and when he does get targets, they're deep targets, so they're high-value targets. All he takes is 1, so I like him. He's not getting the same amount of targets as he was before, but still, like I said, they're deep targets. So Callaway's a nice pickup for you. And talking about Humphreys, a lot of people are on Humphreys, and I'm not on Humphreys. Just like I'm not really on Deshaun Jackson or Chris Godwin or any of those guys, except for Mike Evans. Every week it's a new flavor of the month, but the one consistent is Mike Evans. So as soon as you start Humphreys, he's going to goose egg on you. That's just the way it works, man. The guy's not consistent. He's on a pass-happy team, so that's good, but he's not always the guy. So as soon as the defense keys in on him, the ball goes somewhere else. And that's what you want when you're the offense. But if we're playing fantasy football, we want to know who gets the ball. And I'm not starting Humphreys, man. I'm not even picking up Humphreys. So good luck to you and your fantasy team if you're counting on Humphreys this week. But if you are, man, may it work out for you. You know what I mean? But I'm not touching him. And Nunwood, don't want nothing to do with him. Yeah, I know he was getting targets earlier in the year, but that offense is not explosive. And when they are explosive, it's not with Hanunwa. He's a possession receiver, gets a lot of catches. So if you're PPR, he probably has more value than standard. But really, there's nobody on that offense that you want. You don't even want Crowell or McGuire. You just don't want anything to do with that offense if you can avoid it at all costs. Now, one guy I think is interesting is Josh Doctson, and the reason is because they have a new quarterback there. McCoy or what's his name, Sanchez. So those two, they're going to be considered like a new quarterback. So all bets are off. We don't know who his favorite is yet. It looks like it's Josh Doctson. If he's getting double-digit targets, he's going to be valuable, especially with all the other people hurt. Adrian Peterson's limping a little bit, and Chris Thompson's not back yet. They need to throw to somebody. So I like Josh Doctson as a speculative play. Not too excited about him, but it wouldn't surprise me if he got 100 yards and a couple of touchdowns. That's definitely his total ceiling, but I wouldn't be expecting it, but I wouldn't be surprised if it happened. It's a little sneaky play for you right there. Mike Williams. Now, obviously, he just scored 2 touchdowns. He's not getting a lot of targets, man, But there's two good reasons. For one, he's a good player and on a good offense. I consider that one reason. Just the same as Tyrell Williams and the same as Keenan Allen. So the way Phillip Rivers is doing it is he's kind of spreading the ball around. He likes Keenan Allen a little bit more than everybody else, but not that much more. He spreads the ball around, and Austin Ekeler gets a lot of targets too in the passing game. And that's not even counting Melvin Gordon. When Melvin Gordon is healthy, they still give Austin Ekeler the ball a lot in the passing game. So all the passes get divided up pretty evenly. But if something was to happen to Keenan Allen, and he's been known to get hurt in the past, Mike Williams is going to be an instant stud for you. So I like him as far as a stash, maybe like a wide receiver handcuff, which is kind of rare. But, that's what we're looking at. We're not trying to play Mike Williams, but we're trying to roster him. And I wait and see if something happens to Keenan Allen. And then John Ross. Now he's starting to come into his own, similar as Callaway. And we just don't know what's going on now in Cincinnati because Dalton is hurt and A.J. Green is coming back-ish. We're not sure if he's really going to be more of a decoy because he's got a big name or if he's back and healthy and ready to go again. And even if he is back and healthy and ready to go again, with Dalton out, you don't really know if they're going to, if he really favors, if the new quarterback, I don't even know his name, is going to favor him or not. So clearly Dalton and A.J. Green had a thing going, which is one of the reasons why A.J. Green is so dependable. But now Dalton's out. We don't know if the quarterback's really going to feed him the ball or not. A lot of times the backup quarterback comes in and he starts throwing the ball to the guy he's used to playing with, which is like the number 2 or number 3 wide receiver. So we'll see what happens with John Ross, though, because he definitely has some deep play potential and he's starting to catch balls, so he's looking good and the schedule looks good. They're going to need to be down a lot of points in most games because they have a bad defense, so there's a lot of factors there. It's a dart throw, my man. I mean, I'm not saying I love the guy, I'm just saying I like him. Kind of like I think he's undervalued. All right, so let's bust a move onto the quarterback section. And, now Dak, Winston, and Lamar Jackson. I love Lamar Jackson this week over both of those guys. And, Winston could get benched halfway through the game, so that's the risk with him. But the quarterback for the Buccaneers has been very dependable, whichever quarterback it's been. As we know, they can't stop the ball, so they have a bad defense and they can't run. So the only thing they can do is pass, and they got tons of wide receivers, which is great for the quarterback. I mean, the quarterback has a huge floor. Whoever it is, he's going to score. He's going to score points in fantasy. So I like Winston, but the only problem is he could get benched if he has a bad half, and then you're going to be in deep doo-doo, my homie. So Dak has been good, but I expecting a little bit of regression. I think he's been playing a little bit better than he really is. He's been, overperforming. I expect him to come down to earth a little bit. I'm not saying he's going to wet the bed, but I don't expect the same production. I like Lamar Jackson right now. He's hitting his floor. So if he decides to, not if he decides, but if he actually starts hitting a couple of pass plays and scoring a couple of touchdowns, he's going to add all his rushing yards to his passing yards, and he's going to be, over 30 points, man. And like I said, the schedule's cake. Even if he turns into a runner, the defense he's facing can't even stop the pass or the run. So whichever thing he decides to do, it should be wide open for him. So I like Lamar Jackson. Now, I don't like him over some studs. I'm not playing him over, Rodgers or, any of the big major studs. But if you're thinking about Winston or Dak and Lamar Jackson's available, I'm going Lamar Jackson. And I don't think you can really go wrong with either of those three. Now, some other plays we'll go down to. If you can't get one of those three, Baker Mayfield is always there for you. Now, he's got a little bit of a floor to him, but the way he plays, he's a gunslinger. So even though they run the ball a lot, they got a lot of pass-catching options from Njoku to Landry and Callaway. So he's a gunslinger. He moves out that pocket and he flings it. So that's good for you if you got one of those. When he throws interceptions, it's not going to be good. But when he scores touchdowns, it will be good. So he's not my top pick, but he's in the mix. And my next pick is going to be Case Keenum because Case Keenum is okay. He's not bad. He's better than Mariota or somebody like that. And he's got the defense is terrible, so they got to throw the ball. And, they got to score. So the team he's playing this week, I can't remember who it is, but whoever they are, I remember that they suck, all right? So you should be good with Case Keenum for a 1-week start. And let's go down to tight end, okay? Now, if something happens to Vance McDonald, he's questionable. If he can't make it, Jesse James is a fine start, okay? And on top of that, Vance McDonald has a cake schedule. So if you're looking rest of season, Vance McDonald's schedule is amazing. He's got like one bad matchup and everything else is straight up cake. So I like him rest of season if you're in a pinch. And then Jonnu Smith, You know, I recommended him in my last video just because he's getting the yards. Now, last week he still got some good yards. I think he only got 2 catches, though, so that's worrisome. But he still got the yards, so they were deep catches, gives you the yards, gives you the floor, plus he scores a touchdown. So I think he's got like 3 touchdowns in his last 4 games. So they're using him, and if, like I said, if you're in a pinch, you know what I mean, you could do worse than Jonnu Smith. And CJ Uzomah, I like him too. See if I got any notes on Uzomah here. Yeah, so, you know, rest of season, Uzomah looks good because AJ Green and the schedule. So if AJ Green is hurt, they're going to need they need all the options that they can get, and he's going to get used more. And on top of that, the schedule they're going to be playing is really nice for tight ends. So Uzomah's there for you. You know, it's kind of a toss-up between these guys, but I wouldn't pick, you know, they're better than Herndon or LaCosse. You know what I mean? And that's why I got them ranked in kind of this order here. And as a matter of fact, yeah, I would go Jonnu Smith, then Uzomah, and then LaCosse, and then Herndon, and then James would only be there for you if Vance McDonald is hurt. And let's go into some defenses and wrap this bad boy up, man. So Tennessee's looking great. One of the main reasons I like Tennessee is not only are they facing the Jets, which is a prime and ready team that you want to be facing if you're a defense, but then next week they face the Jags, and they just fired their offensive coordinator and they benched their quarterback, so they're gonna have some offensive challenges, man. And so that's their next week, and then the next week after that is the Giants. So if you grab Tennessee now, you're going to have 3 straight weeks of favorable opponents without having to worry about if you're going to get the next one next week and streaming every week. You know, if you get these guys now, you got a nice play for the rest of the season, essentially, except for maybe the last week. I think the last week it's a little questionable. But at least 3 weeks in a row. So Tennessee's looking great. Obviously, anybody's facing Oakland or Arizona are going to be prime for you. Indy versus Jacksonville, and the Jets versus Tennessee. I think the Jets have a nice schedule too. So if you miss out on Tennessee, the Jets have a nice 2 or 3 game schedule coming up as well. So you can just get them one time and you're set for a couple of weeks. And then Seattle versus San Francisco. You know, San Francisco's having offensive troubles. So there's a lot of options for you on defenses this week. So you should be good. Look ahead to next week, man. You know, obviously if you make it this week, you're going to be in the playoffs. So, I mean, not obviously, but I'm saying if you're in that position where you just need to win this week and make the playoffs, then look ahead to the playoffs a little bit. Drop some of your other players. Try to pick up players that are going to, you know, be the handcuff to your opponent. Try to set yourself up for possibilities. So that's it, doggy. We're all done. I think. See if I got anything else for you. Cameron Brate. You know, I mean, he's probably gone already, but he was the man. Josh Reynolds is the man. These guys are probably gone. Lamar Jackson is probably gone. Gus Edwards definitely gone. Ekeler's gone. So, you know, Nyheim Hines could be good. He's not a long-term solution. And then, you know, just the thing about Justin Jackson, I got some notes here, is that they're going to be playing the Cardinals. So there's a high chance that maybe they blow them out and they bring Justin Jackson and finish him off, and he gets some garbage time. And then, let's see, what else do I got? Rex Burkhead's the handcuff, talked about that. So, and Blount, you know, got 19 touches. Matt Jones is out. Kerryon Johnson's out, but that's all going to change now. Kerryon's probably coming back, and they might even pick up C.J. Anderson. So I'm not loving that dude. See, who else do I want to talk about? Guess that's it, dog. Yeah, I'm done, homie. So good luck, man. I hope you make the playoffs, and hope you enjoyed the video. And you know, show some support, like it, subscribe if you're not subscribed. I'm only gonna make videos that help you. I'm not gonna make a bunch of BS, so you don't have to worry about me blowing up your phone with the notifications. But yeah, dog, I'm out of here. About to go win this week, homie. I'm first. 4 wins in a row to seal that first place notch up. And we'll go out on some music. Peace, homie.